there seem to be some themes to these questions, which is excellent. So it looks like we're moving on to refurbishments of homes. So Sina has a jewelry business and she is fully refurbishing both her house and her studio. Now, the studio is a completely separate place. So can they or should they claim, and do they then need to ask the builder how much the refurb would be separately for the studio in order to claim?
This is quite a good one, and it's probably quite a grey area and a bit tricky to answer. So I'm going to probably keep it relatively broad. But if you are using a room in your house and it's within your property, normally any costs for refurb or redecoration or whatever it might be would normally not be allowable because it's part of your property. And therefore, you're increasing the value of your own personal home. However, if you've got a studio, which is, it could be in the garden, for example, or, not attached to your house, that's again where we get a little bit grey. So if the studio is a movable structure that could be owned specifically by the business, any costs for that studio, I would normally say would be allowable because if you moved home, you could really sort of take that studio with you and that's a business asset then. So any costs related to putting up that studio, kitting it out, whatever it might be, I'd normally say yes. If, however, the studio was in your garage that is attached to the house, again, we've got the same issue as before in that you're improving your own personal asset and it would stay there if the business moved on. So that one, yeah, there's a bit of a grey area and it depends on your circumstances.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing answer. And Sina very kindly gave some extra context saying that it's a garage, which you've covered off, which is really helpful. And I can see that Jeremy and Duleep had the same question about what happens if you convert a garage into an office. So we're saying probably not expensible.
Yeah, normally what we would sort of advise clients is things like, wooden log cabins, anything that again is a movable structure that you can put in your garden specifically as a business space. That, as I say, if you then sold your property, you could then take with you later on. Those are normally more justifiable. Or even if you actually have, a commercial space away from your home, it might be that you're renting out, a unit somewhere that is there's no then personal element to that. Any costs associated with decorating, renovating that particular place would all be absolutely fine because there's no dual purpose. You haven't then got that personal and business mixture.